Sometimes, however, we look back to the treatments of our ancestors.
Up until 150 years ago, when somebody used the word medicine, it typically didn't mean a synthetic medicine. It typically meant an herb or spice like ginger or frankincense and all of these things that are referenced in the Bible today. That's what we meant by medicine.
In his new book, Ancient Remedies, Dr. Josh Axe recommends herbs, supplements, essential oils, and foods to treat about 75 different conditions.
For instance, if somebody is struggling with hypothyroidism, I go through those top 5 herbs so people know exactly what to do. If somebody has Alzheimer's, I go through what to do. If somebody has inflammation, heart disease, diabetes, chronic pain, hormone imbalance, I go through all of those things in there.
Some date back to the dawn of civilization.
But actually, it's believed that Abraham actually taught a lot of these natural ways of healing using different herbs and foods to support healing, and that actually is the basis of Chinese or different types of Asian medicine.
Many of us are okay with medicines that are made in a lab, but if given the choice, might prefer something a little more natural. Man-made drugs often began as imitations of their natural counterparts.
For instance, take white willow bark. That's where they got the idea for aspirin. White willow bark helps naturally thin the blood, reduces pain naturally, is anti-inflammatory. Well, aspirin is actually taken from that, but these pharmaceutical companies wanted to save money, so they started making it themselves that are synthetic.
As we've reported, that process can result in side effects like nutritional deficiencies.
Diabetes drugs actually pull coenzyme Q10 from your body and certain other B vitamins. So if you're on a diabetic drug, it increases your risk of a heart attack and stroke. If you have taken an antibiotic drug, it kills the good bacteria in your body, those probiotics, and it also depletes your body of zinc.
Dr. Axe maintains, regardless of the disease, the first step towards healing involves building a better gut, since that's where most of our immune system resides.
The foods that are most healing to the gut, number 1 is bone broth. Reason being, bone broth is made up of 90% collagen, and your gut itself is made up of around 70% collagen. So you have to have collagen in order for it to heal.
What to avoid?
Pretty much gluten, dairy, and sugar are the things that will most weaken our immune systems.
We can also boost our body's defenses by balancing hormones, lowering stress, and getting a good night's sleep. He says, believe it or not, marijuana's sober cousin, CBD, can do all 3.
So there's 2 main compounds found in hemp, which are CBD and THC. THC is that sort of, that's that compound that can cause hallucinogenic effects where people hear about getting high. CBD is a completely different compound.
So while drug companies churn out their pills, Dr. Josh Axe points to nature and describes how we, like people centuries before us, can use the remedies there to cure what ails us.
Rory's joining us now with more on this topic. Rory, it's fascinating, isn't it? Where's this whole idea of using food as medicine? Can you tell us how to treat specific diseases with food?
Well, you know, Pat, I interviewed one of the nation's leading diabetes doctors at Duke, and he uses diet to treat his diabetic patients. He puts them on a no sugar and no starch diet, and oftentimes they come off their insulin really fast. And he actually showed me a medical manual from way back in the days before insulin was even developed, and that was the treatment that doctors used on their diabetic patients. Think about arthritis. We know that's an inflammatory condition. So you can take an anti-inflammatory drug, or you can adopt an anti-inflammatory diet. What does that mean? That means avoiding sugar, artificial sweeteners, processed foods, wheat, fried food, even red meat and dairy, and then eating things like certain types of fish, olive oil, walnuts, blueberries, things that you like to eat, Pat.
Well, we talk about these certain essential oils. They act like drugs. Can we get these from a pharmacist, by the way?
Well, they are sort of like nature's pharmacy, and it's important to remember that essential oils, just like the drugs that we get at the pharmacy, are very powerful, and you really need to know how to use them, because if you use them the wrong way, it can be very dangerous. What am I talking about? Well, we know that oregano oil is often used as an alternative to antibiotics, but it's important that when you take oregano oil, you don't put it directly on your mouth because it can burn. Don't take it for more than 10 days. And if you're pregnant, don't take it at all. Same thing with tea tree oil. It's a wonderful antiviral essential oil, but you don't need to ingest that at all. You need to breathe it in or use it topically. Same thing with holy basil. It's a wonderful anticoagulant essential oil, but people who have blood clotting disorders need to avoid it. Peppermint oil should not be put on the skin of infants. I could go on and on, but you get the idea. If you're having surgery, make sure to tell your doctor all the different essential oils that you're taking, just like you would with the synthetic pharmaceutical medications.
When you say taking, I mean, you're ingesting these things, or you're rubbing them on your face?
Great question. And for some essential oils, you take it, you ingest it. For other ones, you put them topically, or you breathe them, you diffuse them into the air. So they're all very different. And that's why, it's important to consult a manual like this and consult people who have had lots of training in these things, because they are very serious, just like regular medications that we would get at a pharmacy.
Well, for example, you've got this stuff that are like frankincense. If you just put it on your face, that'll cause blood problems?
No, I was talking about holy basil oil, essential oil. That can sometimes cause problems if you have blood clotting issues. Frankincense is one of they call it the king of essential oils, and we know that the wise men brought that to Jesus, and also myrrh. And so these two essential oils are fantastic and have many healing properties. And so it's really fascinating to look at all these different essential oils.
Well, we've been talking so much about this gut flora. About 80% or so of the immune system is in the gut, and what foods should we use again to make sure that gut is happy?
Well, it's a two-fold answer, and we need to eat the right foods, Pat, but we also need to avoid those wrong foods. And that's what trips up a lot of us, because the things that harm our gut are things that we love to eat, like sugar and processed foods. And we also need to watch our antibiotics. We know that those can be harmful for our gut. They're vastly overprescribed, but we know that antibiotics are life-saving, and so we need to be judicious about using antibiotics. But to answer your question, the foods that are great for our gut are things like bone broth, those fermented foods like kimchi and sauerkraut and yogurt, and also the lots of vegetables and natural things that come from the ground.
Well, amen. Well, I hope that Dr. Axe, has he got a book out on this stuff now that we're talking about?
Absolutely. It's called Ancient Remedies. It's brand new. I highly recommend it.
All right. Well, he's a great guy. Thank you, Lori. Appreciate it.
Okay, that was a good video. I hope y'all learned something. I know I did, and God bless us to use the things of the earth to heal us. And all these different medicines and stuff always got side effects. You look on the commercials. Oh, this heal your hands, your feet, but can also cause uncontrollable breathing, uncontrollable bleeding, and just you trying to cure something and something else get triggered. So God bless us with this earth, and we gotta take care of it. And God bless us with things naturally, that we can use the remedies to help us, our bodies feel better and function better. We just gotta do the research. We gotta put in the time and the effort to go look for these things, because God bless us with it. And we know these companies don't want us to find out. Sure, I'm sure they know the different things. Like the doctor was saying, they use different things, different herbs and stuff to form these different lab medicines and stuff. But they most of them ain't gonna tell us about it, because it mess up their money, and they're a $1 billion business, so it makes sense. But there are some doctors that will tell us and help us so we can stay off of medication and stuff like that. So I hope the video was helpful. Y'all just know God love you. Know I love you. Church love you. Out. Y'all take care.